Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Let's talk about what is needed now. What is needed now? We can be in certain life experiences and situations and in relationships or in business or stuff with your kids where we can get so kind of like, well, I tried this or I did this thing and it didn't work. So, this is pointless, this is useless, or fuck that person, or like, I'm an idiot, or like, I'm not, like, we can go to all that space, right? Fear, hell of a lot of fear and all that. And yeah, there's emotions involved with all these things and past experiences and, or we can simply just choose that, okay, so what's needed now, right? Well, that didn't work. Okay, well, that didn't work. So what's needed now? And what I've come to kind of see and understand and things that I've studied is like, listen, fear does not exist in the present moment. It just doesn't. You're just present, right? This is why being present is, and you keep hearing this and we can go, yeah, I gotta be in the present or be in the now moment and, be here. And we can take a look at situations and we're feeling really loving and stuff with people we love in our life, our children, our spouses, our friends, our family, that we can, be present in those moments. We know what that's like, right? How it's just kind of like, it's almost like time stands still, right? But the thing is that what I really see, and again, what I've come to believe and know, is that being present is a practice and it is a choice. It's a choice. It's like gratitude, right? Same thing. Oh, gratitude, I'm so happy, I'm so grateful. But what if you're having a shit day? Things are going like not as you planned in life or the day or the week, and you've been thrown a curveball that you did not expect. What are you going to do now? What's needed now? What can I be grateful for now in that moment? This is when it becomes a practice. Shit's easy. And life is, feeling like it's that flow. But the thing is like, that is not always life. You're going to be dealt challenges. It's a part of life. And I don't believe it's doom and gloom to talk about that at all. Because those experiences are happening for you for a reason. Life will continually push you to grow. And so, we have options to resist it or to, at the far end of the other spectrum is like surrender. It's hard, right? Acceptance. Surrender. Just let go into it. And the same thing happens when we have tried something, right? We've tried to talk to somebody a certain way. We've tried a certain action step in our business. We've tried, a plan with raising our kids, or, how we deal with conflict with them or feelings or anything like that. And if things don't work, again, we can get so like we just hang our hat, well, that didn't work, and then nothing works. When really, the question you need to ask yourself is then, well, what's needed now? What's needed now? And what's interesting is I found in my experience with coaching is when I ask sometimes those questions that are really pointed questions, what often is the response back is like, well, I don't know, right? Still stuck in that emotion, still stuck in that ego, that fear state, which is already like, close the door, like, nope, didn't work. Moving on, see, it's not working. Like, just, there's no clarity in that space. And where are we in fear? We're in the past, or we are in the future. We're dragging forward all those memories, all those experiences. And, there's nothing wrong with like having some wisdom from the experiences. The challenge, though, is that we often forget that there's wisdom in those experiences, and we get stuck in the memories of the pain, of the sadness, of the suffering, of the anger, and we can focus and go around and around and around and around and around. and get nowhere. And spiral down into more suffering, more pain, more sadness, more anger, more resentment, more blaming, more guilt, more shame, or you kind of, you can just keep adding to that list. Or we can get really still and quiet and say, okay, let me just breathe for a moment. What is needed now? What is needed now? There's power in calm. Yes, there is a space for anger. Yes, there is a space for being upset. Yes, there's a space that maybe you just gotta fucking scream and get stuff out, or cry and get stuff out, or move your body and move those emotions. Energy in motion. Move the emotions out, right? Bring them to the surface to see them, to deal with them. Because if we stay stuck in that place of being around and around and around, so rigid in our thinking, not being open to a different way of seeing stuff, maybe even not being open to our piece of it, right? That's a hard thing. It's so easy to point the finger. It's so fucking easy. And you can find a whole crew of people that'll be right along with you. Yeah, right? We'll begin to attract what we believe to be true. It's kind of like, have you ever been like car shopping? Or you're thinking about a car you really want to get, and suddenly you see that car everywhere. Like, I remember when my husband and I were trying to get pregnant, because we never were able to, and this is why we ended up adopting our 2 boys, but, just trying to get pregnant. I swear it's all I saw was pregnant women and babies, right? Because that's where my focus was on. And so imagine, we take that same analogy, that same understanding, and we put it towards place that you're in, that you're not happy where you're in, the thing that you've tried and it didn't really work, and it can sometimes be so much easier than we think. Can it be during when things are really heavy and difficult and you feel stuck and you don't know and all that stuff? Yeah. And I think there's an awareness and acknowledgement of all that can be there, and there's still going to be the heavy moments, but I think there can be, this is going to sound kind of funny, but there can be lightness in the heaviness. There can be lightness in the heaviness. There can be possibility in the heaviness. There can be an opening in the heaviness. It is not healthy to deny the feelings that you're having about stuff. I think your feelings can be, showing you something, but understand that if it's the fear and the doubt, and it's like, that's all fear. Or it's just all anger. That's the same thing. It's fear. Anger is a secondary emotion, and so really underneath that anger is either fear or hurt. And that's the stuff we don't want to see. That's the stuff we don't want to deal with, right? Some of the childhood wounds, it's some of the relationship stuff, it's some of the parenting piece. That's like, God, it can be so complicated. But listen, the more that you bury stuff, the more that you don't be really honest with yourself about things and where you are and your role, you will not be able to go, and be still and get quiet and say, okay, what's needed now? What's needed now? So here's your more tip for today. There's something in your life right now that you're not happy about. There's something more that you're not happy about. And it could just be a little bit of like, this isn't really like great, it's just okay. Or it could be like, oh my God, there's a fucking shitstorm in my life right now. Okay? So I want you to open up your journal. Right at the top of it, what's needed now? Before you start writing, because you're going to write 1 page about this, I want you to take a breath. 3 breaths. And get really still. And from your heart, and you literally can have your hand on your heart as you're breathing, so you go to that space, because don't go up in your head. Up in your head doesn't know. Mind's going to fuck with you, right? But you get really still, and you go inside your head, inside your heart, and then ask that question, what is needed now, and begin to journal. Okay, a couple things, sister. On that note, speaking of journaling, I have some new journals for you, by the way. I gave out 560, 70 or so over about a year and a half, and I've ordered another 100. So if you would like a free limited edition Women Wanting More journal version 3, go to drkarenosburn.com/free journal. So drkarenosburn.com/free journal. You take care of a little bit of shipping. I do all the rest and send you some cool gifts with that. Make sure also to join the Journey to Feminine. This is a free Facebook community that I created, and there's some beautiful women inside the group. I'd love for you to be a part of it. And if you would like to take part in the next 21-day challenge, which, yes, there's an investment for this program, but it is open for every single woman. Every single woman. I said it this way on purpose. I want you to email me, drkarenosburn@gmail.com, and say, I want it on the next 21-day challenge. All right, so I'll see you in the next episode. A life of more is one step away from really asking yourself some of these deep questions. What's needed next every single day? I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.